First action, read.
That's performative art and a misinterpretation, and it's basically one of the hallmarks of what's wrong with a lot of our black men nowadays. One of the problems with a lot of black men today is that
on mute for a while.
we black.
A lot up now. I can see the
a lot of our black men nowadays is basically white men junior and supposedly Hebrew Israelites that go out there with the beards and wearing the costumes. Those are basically white men junior because
that's right.
The only problem they really have with white supremacy is their problem in it because they take all the hallmarks of white supremacy and apply it to others.
Right.
They lack empathy. They brutal. They harsh. Those are all hallmarks of the white man.
Okay.
You're just a white man junior, pretending to be something.
So current events. What's in the news this week?
So this been a rather interesting week. We had the New York subway shooting thing, and I've looked into it some. I wanted to talk about it tonight. I didn't look into it as much as I wanted to, but I'm open to y'all. I want y'all thoughts on that whole.
I blame integration.
Distraction.
That ain't no black people shit right there.
I mean,
well, they always blame when white guys do these shootings. They always get to talk about mental health. But anybody who watched any of his social media that they explored, his YouTube and stuff, this guy was obviously off his rocker. There was no real ideology or movement behind that. It was just a dude. It was literally a dude, and that's when I can go back to the hallmarks of so many of us are falling victim to right-wing talking points. And adopt them because there's been a misinformation campaign that the right wingers, and when I say right wingers, I ain't talking about just somebody's conservative. I'm talking about the Steve Banners. I'm talking about the ones who are really manipulating, the ones who want the race war. But one of the ways that they disarm us is that they've been pumping directed misinformation at black men. True. And then you exacerbate this guy's case with the mental illness, and you have that. And some of these cats call themselves hoteps, this and that, but you notice. Everything they're saying is right wing. So they took what was a beautiful thing, the woke hotep, into this basically a junior white man.
Well, you hit the nail on the head when you're talking about when there's a white person. They always cry the mental health card, and when it's black people, we don't ever get the mental health card. It's that's just inner nature. That's just who they are. No pleading insanity, no getting put in the hospital, no help or nothing like that. It's always that's just in our nature. There's a lack of compassion that they have towards us. I mean, you saw it with the whole. Now you back in the crack epidemic, it was you gonna lock people up. For doing drugs. Now they're suddenly it's affecting their communities. It's like, we can't lock them. We got to give these people help. Let's get them in rehab. Let's have safe spaces where they can shoot up in downtown San Francisco. Nah, fuck that. Lock their ass up. Do to them the same thing y'all did to us. Okay? That's true equality right there. Equal punishment.
Well, I've actually always been playing that game because back in the days, California used to have a prison called CRC. And CRC stood for California Rehabilitation Center, and it was a prison. But it was supposed to be designed for anybody whose crimes was basically you only really did this because you have some type of help.
Drug diversion.
Well, this is one of the things that they would do. They would sentence because if you went to CRC, you only did 11 months. Literally, no matter how long your sentence was, you did 11 months and you went home. You could have 20 years. But if you got sent to CRC, let me tell you something. No black guys ever got sent to CRC. We got sent to San Quentin, Tehachapi, places like that. You know what I'm saying? And then sent from there because those were the inception centers.
You got to put that 13th Amendment to use, man.
But this is how they played the game. On paper, you get sentenced to 15 years. The white guy gets sentenced to 15 years. So if someone pulled up studies, there's no disparity in sentencing because everybody's getting 15 years, except for you're serving 11 years out of 15, and he's serving 11 months in the CRC, and they would say that these particular candidates, it's a disease. so we're going to take them to that treatment. But whenever you was on drugs,
It's a choice.
they didn't bring up fights you had in 8th grade to show you had a history of violence, so you can't be helped by this rehabilitation. So you would go to Quentin and then Pelican Bay, and he would literally, by the time you got sent to Pelican Bay, when you come out the reception center, he'd already be home, even though y'all both got 15 years.
He at home eating and got a business because his homeboys, then before GoFundMe, it was, you know, they put the
Good old boy.
Same thing. It's like that white boy that was gang banging in Orange County when he joined the Crip gang and they did a drive-by shooting.
Seen the
One of the
video
dudes got
on
lit
him.
up and, you know, he ended up going home to play PlayStation 4 when the mother brothers is locked up.
Right.
And apparently he was on some hyphiness, but then that just goes to show that if you don't, that's like with these snitches or whatever y'all want to call them. When a person deep in their heart knows that they're not going to suffer the true consequence of their actions,
right.
woo, they could really act a fool out here. They'll shoot up the whole town. They'll do all kinds. They'll do all kinds of shit, and everybody be like, "Ooh, he's notorious."
Instigators,
Yeah, gassing
influencers.
motherfuckers up, and next thing you know, he put on a suit, covered up them tattoos, and he was a victim of these
My name
ghetto
is-
manipulators.
My name is Winthrop, and I was kidnapped. They
It's a
forced
damn
me to do this.
Like y'all see that Cowboys player? It's been breaking
Yeah,
news on
yeah,
Twitter.
Joseph,
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah,
Oh,
Shelly
man.
Joseph.
What'd he do?
He's a suspect in a homicide investigation. Now,
Yeah.
it's another one I
A
was...
brother or a white dude?
Brother.
Black
Okay.
dude, cornerback.
Man, he didn't learn with that dude from the Patriots, man.
Aaron Hernandez.
And what's the quarterback name?
His lawyers already admitted he
Yeah,
was
he's
in
already
the
admitted.
No,
car,
I'm
but
talking
he
about
wasn't.
Lewis.
But that he didn't fire
Ray
the
Lewis.
shots.
Oh, Ray
Oh,
Lewis.
yeah.
Yeah, not
linebacker.
quarterback, linebacker, but yeah.
Yeah.
You got to watch who you hang out with, bro.
So, but the Cowboys tweet, his last tweet he put up was, "I'm gonna stand on business."
Yes.
Right. So,
And then he deleted his Instagram.
right.
But his lawyer already, I don't know what type, I don't know
I
if he's
don't
going
know.
to testify against
Yeah,
everybody
I
because his
think so.
lawyer not only placed him at the scene, but his lawyer's already
He's
said,
in the car.
oh, he was in the car, but someone else fired
Fired
the
the
shots.
yeah, but you knew who
In
you
California,
was rocking with.
his lawyer just gave him 25
Right,
years in
right.
California. I don't know
Luckily,
if they're doing it in
yeah.
Texas.
Luckily, this is in Texas, so you got to
Guilty by
stand your
association,
ground
bro.
laws
Guilty
and
by
But
association.
they were driving away, and the other dudes were standing there. They had a fight. Two groups of people had a fight. Cowboys player and his partners went and got in the car. These dudes went over here. They were standing by their car. The Cowboys player and his folks drove by, shot, killed one of them, and kept pushing. And then
he gonna
they had
testify.
video of them in the club, and off the necklace and stuff that he was wearing, there was people saying, "Oh, that was dude," and that's how they was able to identify him. So I don't see where there could be really a case for any form of self-defense.
See, that's why I do the motorcycle thing. You can't tell who's who when we all wearing full face helmets. We all on different bikes.
that. Where's Ray
every bike
Donovan
is
when
black,
you need him?
can't tell.
Call Ray
But
Donovan.
I just would be like, back in my days, you know, I had several friends that made into the NFL, and anytime there was anything that jumped off, you know, there was cats, you know, like Roman Pfeiffer and a few other cats, you know, ex-Bruins, you know, first round draft picks. When anything would jump off,
You
cats
moved them
would
out the way.
bear hug them, dragging them
Get up out of here.
out. Exactly.
This ain't got nothing to
There's
do with
nobody
you.
that would have.
Your
Maybe
future.
niggas would have dropped him off and came back
Yeah,
and
told him
shot
ahead of
if it
time,
was
like,
that
bro,
serious.
you-
But there's
you-
nobody
it's
that
bad.
would have. There's nobody that would have bust a gun when Roman them was around on fear of them getting caught up in any sort of way. So I don't understand the mentality. This is the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas get to fighting over there. You grab the bag, even you
outta here.
pick him up where his feet don't even touch the ground, and you get him out the door.
Well, you know,
Right.
back in our day, you couldn't even be around it if you was the bag. They'd be like, "Nah, we finna go take
You
care of
got a
business. You
future?
can't be around. You gotta bounce. You gotta bounce his bag.
But
You know, because
Exactly.
that one dude that made it out the hood, he might be able to provide 4 or 5 jobs for the homies. You know what I'm saying? So if he go down, everybody losing money.
But do
feel
you
me?
think clout plays plays a bigger role today than it did then?
Well, I'm saying,
as far as
I mean,
social media,
Clout
every
chase
era.
as far as everybody
Yeah.
want to be.
Well, every era,
you know.
everybody's wanted clout. I'm
Everybody
just
wanted
saying
that.
But do you
that
think
the person who can financially secure all of us,
Yeah, I agree.
and you're not acting in his best interest, is you're cutting off your own nose. You're
I
that's
understand,
bananas.
but you see more
Right.
these days. Well, at least people that's caught more and more now. You see like the actual bag getting arrested. You know, like the Cowboys
That's
player
insane.
who sent all that stuff to his house. Who he was somewhere in Ohio and he sent like 2 keys to his house and he was trafficking all around America.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head with that with the social media. I think social
Yeah.
media is really trying to make everybody feel
Everybody wants to
more
be
important
relevant.
than what they really are.
Yeah.
You get everybody they seeking that validation. Everybody
Right.
wants to be a celebrity. Everybody wants to be a content creator. Everybody wants to be a pundit. And then when you get them likes, a little bit of dopamine goes off and gets released from your brain. You start feeling good about yourself,
Because-
and you keep chasing after it, and you're gonna do some attention whore shit. And if you don't have no guidance, you're gonna think that whatever gets you respect in the streets is gonna give you that right kind of validation. Instead of seeking validation from a bunch of people you don't know on the internet, seek validation for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
And the
Seek
player that's
validation from God, you
accused,
feel me?
he is claiming to be gang affiliated at least before the shooting. So he has the chain with the gang, and he's from like the Dallas area down there. So he was with his boys, and he
And that's-
paid from
and
something like that.
And like I said, I didn't research this. I meant to research this topic, but it's been a super busy week for me, so I haven't. But looking at it from the outside, which I always, I play devil's advocate because that's the best seat in the house, if you really want to know. But it's the same sad story that plagues us all the time. Talented athlete, gifted, given the opportunity, and ruined. That's the narrative that the other side plays it and says, see, this is why we shouldn't give y'all what we give y'all. And niggas, you niggas, fall into the, yeah, man, see, we be fucking it up, man. But
Not me.
I'm just speaking in general.
Yeah.
Because I'm devil's advocate. I got horns. The thing is, to Pharaoh's point, because when I was a youngster, if you was, like you said, if you was the bag, you was the potential, the OGs saw who had potential, who had this, and even if it was your big brother was the man out there, but he was like, hey, my little brother, he ain't being in none of the shit we got going on. He doing this, and that. That was law. The motherfuckers in your area or whatnot, that was law. Wasn't no, I come up to I'm the little brother, with potential.
Nah, if you was an athlete or a rapper,
Yeah.
and they word got out, you
was like-
couldn't buy a single zip. They'd be like, whoever
They was
served
like,
this dude,
dude.
gotta answer me. The big boys, like, if you serve this dude, give him a zip, half zip, whatever, you gotta
gonna
answer
answer
me.
me.
It's gonna be a problem because he can't touch no work.
We gonna have to have a conversation.
He gotta get himself out the hood.
Right.
When he get out the hood, we getting out the hood. You feel
Exactly.
me?
So the problem, is that guardianship has been voided. Right or wrong, indifferent. It's been voided because everybody wants to be, and I'm gonna use Jordan and Kobe in this scenario. Everybody wants to be Jordan and Kobe. But Robert Horry got 7 rings and never won an MVP. You'll get that at 3 in the morning.
I don't know.
If Joseph takes the stand,
Nobody want to be Joe Dumars. Nobody want to be Scott Skiles. Nobody want to be
Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr. Exactly. Nobody want to be Tracy McGrady.
Well, Steve Kerr got punched on. So.
I beg to differ slightly though. You wouldn't want to be those guys if you had potential to be Kobe. Because like Robert Horry was a lottery pick.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the punchline with Robert Horry is that he never became as great as he was supposed to be. I'm
At
just
the
saying
end of the day, Robert Horry can go in a bar, and this many championship rings he got on, and that's the end of the conversation.
Did Kwame Brown got a ring?
Yeah.
No.
Because
Oh,
Kwame
yeah.
Brown was a number one.
He was a
Number one over. Who knows? He was exactly.
No, he
and
wasn't.
that's
No,
part of
he
the problem.
Well, we know
You
who
can
got the
still
most
be.
rings, and he
You
from
can
West
still.
Oakland, so
You can still be.
you know.
You can still be a successful failure.
But what if this is who Joseph is?
Like
Like,
Jamarcus Russell. I mean, we can go on and on, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to speak of the highlights of the shit. You don't have to be the marquee player and still get rings. Shit, John Sally he earned 2 or 1, but I'm just saying.
Well, shit, Dennis Dixon got a ring sitting on the bench.
Exactly. But he got a ring.
Sitting on the bench.
But he's the ring.
Dennis Dixon, San Leandro.
I work with Dennis Dixon Sr.
Shout out to Dennis Dixon. Raw talented player.
Yeah, he was dope when he was with Oregon. I was happy when Roethlisberger got injured. I was like, I want to see the man play.
When I say that, though, I'm just saying the mentality of niggas, Niguhz.
Capitalize the IG.
Because you niggas is instantly glorified. You'll get that at 3 in the morning. But, damn, I lost my train of thought, but let me bring it back. We justify bullshit because everybody want to be on the marquee. That's where I'm at. Brought it back. See that?
That's why I said capitalize the IG.
Yeah.
Social media turning everybody
instant gratification.
into an attention whore. They all think they celebrities.
Instant gratification. Everybody wants to be on the marquee. And I was having this conversation with a few of the sisters here at the studio before we went on.
Being on the marquee?
Here's the thing. Yeah, but I built this. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, the towel boy gets a ring. And I've said that for years. Any sports organization that wins a world championship, everybody in that organization gets a ring, something of semblance to the fact that you were a part of the reason we won the championship.
But all Dunning-Kruger syndrome and illusory supremacy aside, would you be happy not being Kobe if you truly in your heart believed you was Kobe or that level of player? You wouldn't just be happy getting the ring.
Okay, hold on.
Pippen don't seem very happy in that documentary.
So to tag off what you're saying, for one, everybody should feel like they're Kobe with yourself and your abilities. You should feel that, whether it's true or not. You should have confidence and believe in yourself that much to where I can be Kobe. It may not be true, but you have to believe in yourself before anybody else believes in you.
Right.
So
that part of it.
But the reality part of it is, hey, if I'm a piece of the puzzle and I understand that, knowledge of self, to where I'm a piece of the puzzle. Here's the thing. Would I rather be a basketball superstar like Barkley, who get all these accolades but ain't never won a ring, and is known as the consummate hater, or would I rather be a part of a team who built some shit and did some shit? I don't have to be Kobe, Shaq, Jordan, Pippen. I can be Kukoc. I could be Steve Kerr. I could be Bushler. Ooh, got y'all with that one.
But
I could be B.J. Armstrong.
The thing with Barkley.
But I'm just listen to it. Let me finish. The problem is too many people want to be the marquee dude. Nobody wants to sit and say, I'm a piece of the puzzle.
We gotta look at Barkley. That's really not very comparable because he was a marquee dude for his team. When you look at when you look at the Barkleys, the Ewings, the Gary Paytons, you know what I'm saying, the Malones, you know, they dude, Jordan killed dreams.
Exactly.
In his era. He killed dreams.
That's why he's one of the goats.
Because Barkley and Ewing.
Hold
on. Barkley and Ewing, they were the marquee dudes for their respective teams. Same with Malone, but they weren't on the same team as Jordan.
Right.
So I think
Jordan
Pippen,
never wins that first ring if
Pippen
they don't
would be a better comparison than Barkley.
But
Jordan killed motherfucking dreams.
But
Jordan would have never won that first ring if they didn't dilute the league. They in the expansion draft, the Pistons lost several key players, and other people spread out. And Magic went down and was sick. So with that combined,
he won his first ring against a full Magic.
Magic was
no.
Hold on.
That was the passing of the torch.
Let me
Even
finish.
if it was orchestrated, that was the symbolic passing of the torch.
Let me finish. Magic literally had a debilitating flu every game in that series and could barely suit up. And that's
What's
what
up,
made
Dolph?
him go get the test, and they discovered that he had HIV. He was in full effects, sick, flu every day. That combined with Rick Mahorn got snatched off the Pistons in the expansion draft, and they had added the Hornets and Magic being sick, and Larry Bird's back injury where he didn't even play that season is why Jordan won that ring.
Once again, you sound like Barkley
I mean,
Jr.
I
You sound like Barkley Jr.
But no, I'm adding facts. But let me
I
tell
hear
you,
you.
but
No,
back,
I
but
hear
back
you.
to
You
your
sound
point.
like Barkley
Back to your
Jr.
point. I
Yeah,
had the best.
speculation. That's like
I had the best pal
man,
when I
that's
was
like
a kid.
motherfuckers from Cleveland Cavaliers talking about the Warriors
Price.
wouldn't have won in 2015 if what's his face had been healthy.
Oh, it's true.
Oh,
It's true.
that's nonsense.
It's
That-
true.
that's
Williams-
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you
Williams,
something.
Kyrie, and Kevin
But then
Love
they
missed the
proved,
entire series.
but they
Man,
proved,
it's
And then they
speculation.
came back the
but
next
the
year.
Warriors proved they point though. But I had a best pal when I was growing up. His
Right,
name was
Dolph.
Michael Dallas. Rest in peace.
Huh?
Michael Dallas was the baddest nigga on earth. Literally. Knock anybody out. Even his son ended up fighting for championships. Michael Dallas, when we went to the Nationals, when he got to the finals, dude was walking out and twisted his ankle and fell. And what they call that, so if you can't make it into the ring, you win. It's called a walkover. So now Michael is the national champion. You've never seen a nigga more miserable being national champion because he couldn't prove it. Next year he came back and won the silver medal. And he was more happy about that silver medal because he actually proved it than that.
Right.
He was the type of person who would not have been happy just being on the team. He got crowned national champion and was like, fuck that, because I didn't actually win it. Some people don't want to be Steve Kerr. Some people don't want to be Judd Bushler.
So
Some
what was
people
this
got to win.
comparison to do with the Cowboys player? Because we brought this.
No,
because how does that compare? What were we
some
talking
people,
about his group.
some
people he's
people.
with?
I mean, some people don't want to just be the man just for IG clout or this and that. Some people just have a desire to be the man, and they're not gonna be happy, and they're driven and willing to put in whatever work to be the man. So you can't say everybody that's chasing fame is just clout, because some people ain't
There's a
happy with
difference.
just being
But I
the
think
water
a lot
that
of
goes
people
Joe
over.
never
Frazier,
been a-
heavyweight champion, he showed it, owned it, even though he didn't get a chance to fight Muhammad Ali before he got crowned. So
Yeah. I mean, you
some
have.
people gonna own it.
Oh, Dolph said Magic
Well,
found out.
Joe Frazier, though, part of the reason why he was willing to own it is because in his heart he knew he could beat Ali, and when they fought prime, undefeated for undefeated, he whooped Ali. He
Yeah,
never
Ali
had
was
no
locked
doubt.
Up, bro.
He never
was
had no
locked up
doubt
and
he
out
could
of
whoop
shape,
Ali.
though, bro.
Come
It's
on,
not
bro.
the same,
You-
dude.
That's
You
it.
see what happened to
Red
Ali
pill,
against
green
Ken Norton?
pill.
Man,
There's no definition of Ali in his prime who would have beat Joe Frazier.
I don't
no,
know
dude,
if I can agree
no,
with that.
I can't.
And
agree
I
with
don't
that.
know if I can disagree
I'm
with that.
cutting you off.
No. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. When they was both 30-0 and they fought in their prime,
Man,
You
he
talking
just
about
got out of
3
jail,
years?
bro. He
Man
just
came
got
in,
out of jail,
came
bro.
up doing
Come
the
on,
bid.
dude.
Yeah, come on.
Ali didn't do one day in jail. What are you talking about?
He still couldn't fight.
Ali had 3 fights before he fought Frazier.
Doesn't matter. He was still out of shape. If he'd have fought Ali, I mean, if he'd have fought Frazier before,
And what happened against Norton?
Before they stripped
That
him,
particular style
So
was a
the-
tough
dude, you
matchup
realize
for
he,
Ali.
So,
he beat
hold
George
on.
Foreman.
So the
George
same-
Foreman was the Mike Tyson of his era, bro.
You know they quit counting
listen,
for me.
Listen, so the same, and this is just my quick assessment. The same thing you talking about. We talking about Jordan, and you giving
Frazier.
Dallas.
Frazier his kudos. Your same analogy of the league got watered down. You just used for your defense of Frazier. Because Ali got watered down because he got.
I'm one of the leading boxing experts in the world. Trust me when I tell you, there's no version of Muhammad Ali that would have beat prime Joe Frazier. As you can see in each one of their fights, as you can also see with the evidence when Ali fought Cleveland Williams,
Wait, didn't
also
they have-
when Ali fought,
They had
and
a
also
rematch though, right?
yeah,
And-
Frazier
what?
was shot at that point.
Really?
Oh,
Really? Oh,
was it
okay.
overnight?
But no,
Okay.
but listen.
Was it the next
But
fight?
see, I'm all.
Was it the
whatever-
very next
whatever
fight?
the official argument is.
What was?
Here goes the, I'm
Answer
gonna
the question.
borrow
Okay.
I'm gonna borrow a term from Roger Mayweather. Neither one of y'all actually know nothing about boxing, especially
Okay.
not in comparison to me.
I know that
So
we
thus,
got it.
but so, but see,
He showed it beat Frazier.
Hold on. See, you're saying,
Hold on.
I think Ali would have beat him. You said thinking, and I'm telling you why Ali wouldn't have beat him. See, that's the difference. I'm telling you why.
You have
Ali
an opinion. Nothing wrong
and
with
what
your
happened with
opinion.
Ali against Norton in the first fight? That style, that particular style, overall,
He's talking rocks. This is paper. Everybody gonna beat everybody in the right time.
No, if you see a person continuously struggles against fighters of a similar style, you can confidently say the person who was a master of that style would beat this person because that person had part of it. And when you look at overall rankings, Ali is a greater fighter than Frazier. But in particular head-up matchup, just the same thing where George Foreman. George Foreman was a bad matchup for Frazier, but Ali beat him. Styles are sometimes a bad matchup.
Ali had to switch his style to fight for him, but you kind of contradict the original point. You talking about the one dude that got national champion because the other dude injured his ankle and didn't want to own it, and then I say, well, Frazier was made a heavyweight championship when he didn't even beat the previous heavyweight champion.
But the thing
he owned it. He took it and ran with it.
But here's the thing.
So the same now.
Do you know the
scenario?
But do you know? But do you know how?
You kind of contradiction the original.
But see, but here's the thing. You don't have the knowledge of how Frazier even became. He didn't get appointed. They had literally a tournament of the top 5 heavyweights, and Frazier knocked out all of them. And that made
the Rochambeau for the shit.
No, they fought. They fought. And Frazier whooped everybody, and that's how Frazier became.
He did not
the
beat
champion.
The
He didn't get appointed being
at
the
that
champion.
time. He didn't. The heavyweight championship of the world. He didn't fight that dude. So you talking about Ken Norton? Rocks is his paper, okay?
Ken Norton beat Ali and broke his jaw.
Okay, but Ali
Frazier broke his jaw.
Okay.
All right.
I've seen people get their
Ali
jaw
had a
broken still
tendency
win.
when he double jabbed, and sometimes when he would do the double jab, Eddie Futch was the trainer for Frazier and Ken Norton. Eddie Futch figured out some moves that Ali did every time, and he always coached his fighters. Every time Ali throws the double jab, allow him to hit you with that because he's gonna wheel back, and the right is gonna be low. When he hits you with the double jab, the tendency as a boxer, you're trained. If a person hits you with a double jab, you got to jab back. Mm-hmm. Eddie Futch was like, no. If he hits you with the double jab, stay disciplined and throw the hook. Close your eyes and throw it if you got to. And that's how Frazier was able to drop him and break his jaw. That's how Ken Norton was able to drop him. That was a weakness that he had, and Eddie Futch figured it out. And every fighter that Eddie Futch trained against Ali had success. These are facts.
That's fine, Dan. We're talking about the original analogy of someone claiming the title and not owning it versus someone who was given the title and owned it.
But you brought
Frazier
up.
But
Frazier was really a champion.
The original point.
Frazier was really a champion.
He wasn't a champion when they made him a champion because the original heavyweight championship got his title stripped.
Hey, I'm a wrestling fan from back in the day. Ric Flair said it best: to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
But then he did.
Ric Flair said it best. Woo!
He said that too.
Bottom line is,
okay,
this what some of us sometimes mistake as clout chasing and things like that is sometimes in this modern era just a simple manifestation of the drive that some people always had to be. I'm gonna be that dude.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with somebody wanting to be that dude. I'm never gonna have a bad opinion about somebody who wants to be that dude because you should have drive. You should. As I was a coach, I coached Little League, I've coached football. I want my players to want to strive to be great, so I get that. Mm-hmm. At the same time, there's this thing called reality. Once again, I'm going to ask you all, please, and I'm going to ask this question, and each of y'all give me your answer to this question and your reason why. Would you rather be a sports champion, my nigga in the building? No! So, would you rather be a sports legend who's never won a championship, i.e. Barkley, Ewing, so many motherfuckers who Jordan didn't allow to win shit, Stockton, Malone. Would you rather have a stellar career? Don't leave. Because I want your fucking opinion. But would you rather have the stellar personal stats that stack up and maybe put you in the top 75, or would you rather be a journeyman, get it done, dude, rifleman, so to speak, who wins several rings? Okay. Right. What would you rather be?
I'm here for greatness. I'd rather be emblazing this greatness than just a mediocre cat who got took along for the ride.
I think for me personally, I played college football, so I think I'm okay with the journeyman role because I understand what it takes to win a championship and going with your teammates and like the whole story of it all. And
I also played college football. You know Iman.
Yeah.
One game, Iman helped me get 200 yards, and we lost, and I didn't give a fuck that we lost.
I mean, because you got guys like Julian Edelman, and he's now being considered for the Hall of Fame, and he's no Jerry Rice and Randy Moss and all that stuff, but a team player and won a bunch of championships with Tom Brady, the greatest of all time. So.
Whose contract would he have rather had, his or Megatron's?
I might be misquoting, but I think when Kevin Durant signs the Warriors and got all this scrutiny, I think Kobe Bryant said, was it Kobe Bryant? He said that the purpose of playing in the NBA is to win championships. So he didn't knock him for his choice.
NBA is a team game.
So when it comes down to it, when you go to the NBA or any top tier sport, your main goal is to get a ring.
Yeah.
People don't remember stats. That's what this is for. This remembers stats.
Right.
But you know what people remember? People remember rings.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So the legacy and the legend behind it. That's what you're going for. The glory. The glory. Fuck the stats.
Yeah, for sure.
So do we remember Barry Sanders more or the dude who was the third string on the 49ers in '89?
Barry was electrifying.
Yeah, Barry's probably the GOAT at running back.
Barry. Barry. If you're knowledgeable of NFL players, Barry.
Thank you. But
in 20 years, Barry might be a trivia question. Because he never got a ring. Everybody remembers who has rings. A lay person who doesn't even watch football.
Who was the third?
Who has rings?
Who was the backup running back?
Just like the two motherfuckers who was Sam Bowie and the other motherfuckers. The two motherfuckers who was picked in the draft before Jordan. Would you want to be them?
One of them motherfuckers was Hakeem Olajuwon.
Like you said, a draft pick.
Olajuwon, MVPs, won titles.
Okay, Olajuwon, because
if Jordan hadn't retired, he would whoop Jordan.
Olajuwon would not have got a ring. Keep it a
You smoking dope. You smoking dope. That Houston team would have
Clyde Drexler.
Bulls team.
I respect individual sports.
Champions are remembered.
Exactly.
Champions are remembered.
Here's the thing. I have people
Olajuwon won 2 rings.
Yeah, and with the 2 years Jordan was off, and when Jordan came back, what happened? Thank you.
Okay, let me ask you a sincere question. While you're on that point, let me ask you a sincere question. Are you going to say any of those Bulls teams, that team, because it took Houston a while to build their team up, but when Houston built that team up in '95, are you going to honestly look me in the eye and say that the Bulls team was better than that Houston team?
Yes, you know why?
Okay. You're absolutely wrong.
Because hold on, Barkley. The original, let me go chase a ring hoe. I'm calling it what it is. The shit that he talked about KD
LeBron
for doing it. He talked about LeBron for doing it. Motherfucking Barkley was the original motherfucker who went to a super team hoe. That was Barkley. Let's call it what it is. He went and chased a ring because he couldn't get it in Philly. He couldn't get it with the Suns. He got shut down twice with the Suns. No, once. He got shut down with the Suns. Jordan was like, nigga, the ground round of not tonight.
Oh, Barkley.
Jordan retired. Olajuwon and Drexler said, Phi Slamma Jamma, let's do it, which is great as fuck. Just like with the Raiders with Devontae, East Palo Alto's finest, and Derek Carr. Derek Carr, I'm a Raider fan all day. Anyway, never mind. Let me get back to the shit. Anyway, they hooked up. Yeah. Barkley was like one of the Me Too hoes. pick me. I'm the stellar motherfucker Jordan to shut me down because Ewing is like an ashtray. But this time, Ewing is an ashtray, a dirty ashtray in the back seat of his Cadillac. And no disrespect, I'm just keeping it a buck.
Damn.
I love you.
hate to see some disrespect.
No, I love you. I'm just speaking on the game. I'm speaking on the game.
Man,
I'm speaking on the game at this time.
that was that
The
Southern
Stars,
thing.
Yeah,
they
bless your
gone.
heart.
Yeah.
They gone. Like I said, no disrespect personally. I
Speaking of
respect and love
stars
all
being
that.
gone,
But listen, let me finish.
what was the stronger era of basketball? The
Hold on,
80s,
bro.
the
You gonna let me
2000s, or the
finish?
90s?
2000s.
Let me,
Exactly.
you gonna let me finish my fucking point? So, Barkley did the original, let me go jump on these niggas' dick, because that's what he did. Barkley was the original
And
LeBron.
Lost.
Exactly. The next LeBron before LeBron was Portland when they had everyone's first round draft pick and still got their ass whooped by the Lakers. Facts. Look it up. Am I lying?
Yes.
I'm a huge New England Patriot fan.
I'm gonna tell you.
Fuck.
I'm gonna
Only
tell
thing
you.
I like about
I-
Tom Brady is he from the Bay, but other than that, fuck
I go to
him.
Boston
I'ma tell you-
four
I'ma
times
tell you
a year to
what it
watch
That was a
game.
fucking fumble. I'm still mad.
Moses Malone
Well, I was just
jumped
speaking of that.
directly from the Houston Rockets in the mid '80s to the Sixers for no other reason to play with Dr. J. and
Out
one
of
thing.
high school.
Bob McAdoo won 4 scoring titles.
Mhm.
4 scoring titles,
How
and
many
then
rings?
went to the Lakers to be a backup to get rings with Kareem. Cats have always been like, "Fuck, I need to get a ring and
Thank you.
sacrifice that," and that was a decade before
Well, that
Barkley.
just proved the point
Because-
he made.
But I
Thank
think it's
you.
something great. Yeah, I think
Thank
it's something
you.
great in winning a championship.
You want the glory.
You
You
wanna
want the
be-
the
stats.
championship.
I can tell you
You know,
something.
Nah, but I'm just saying though,
Google
that these
stats,
cats
but
make
you know
sure
who
that
wins
they
rings.
already
Thank you.
made
You know
their
what I'm
money.
saying? Like-
I said Bob McAdoo won 4 scoring titles.
But I think it's something in winning
Yeah.
a championship.
Yeah.
I mean,
Individual shit is cool. Don't get me wrong. But here's the thing. I have friends and associates who have won NFL championships.
Right.
I know people who've won, personally, NBA championships. I know people who've won World Series rings. And I've talked to professional boxers who won world championships. At the end of the day, you all in the bar. And I've had this conversation with several of them. Here's the thing. You in the bar. We all having this conversation.
all got money.
You do this. Everybody can't do that. You shut the fuck up.
The rings.
Remember, and I'm gonna take you back to.
I've been in the room. I've been in the
You
room
know.
with. I've been in the room with Eric Dickerson. Used to work out with him.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Eric Dickerson ain't got nowhere near a ring. And
But
let
he
me tell you
still
something. When
carries-
Eric Dickerson talks,
Yeah.
when Eric Dickerson would talk in the room for the NFL people, people are saying, "Let the legends speak."
I'm not saying. See, so you taking. There are individuals who
Yeah.
command the room.
Right.
True. But I'm saying when it comes to the shit talking,
Yeah.
the barbershop talk,
Eric Dixon.
the
Eric
shit,
Dickinson.
the shit talking. Because here it is. Barkley, and I'm gonna use Barkley as this example again. Barkley has some shit to say about KG some years ago. And KG did the most playeristic thing you could say. He said, "Motherfucker, I got a ring."
Yeah.
End of the fucking conversation.
It ends the
You know,
conversation.
the only people that are impressed by stats are subject matter experts, but regular
nerds.
laymen are fucking impressed by rings since everybody knows the ring.
Yeah.
You know, you know,
I'd rather be Charles Barkley than Steve Kerr, though.
I don't know about
Ah,
I'm not
fuck
sure
that.
about that.
Kurt,
About that.
I'm sorry.
You got to play
Kurt
the
run
Jordan,
ring.
the Bull.
Blah, blah,
I mean,
blah.
that's history.
Kurt won rings as a player and a coach.
and a coach.
He won three-peated once and almost three-peated twice.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'd be
I
Steve
think
Kerr.
Steve Kerr.
I'd
yeah,
be good being Steve Kerr over Barkley
Over Barkley.
as a black man. I'm not saying I want to
Let me
be
ask you
the
one more
white
question
man.
to see how much credibility we should give your basketball knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Could any of them Bulls teams have beat the three-peat Lakers with Shaq and Kobe?
Yes.
Fuck no.
You know nothing about
Excuse my
basketball.
language.
You
I'm
know
sorry.
that.
Yes.
Excuse
You
my
know
language.
nothing
You
about
said
basketball.
any. You said any.
I mean,
yes.
they don't got nobody for just Shaq alone.
Exactly.
I mean, just Shaq alone is
Exactly.
probably going for 40. I'm
40
not
Here's
gonna
the
lie.
thing.
40 and 20.
So,
Yeah.
so okay, so the dynamics of football, of basketball, I'm gonna tell you, Shaq is allotted 6 fouls. You gonna tell me that in that time he ain't gonna get fouled the fuck out? And Shaq, and I love shit. Don't get me wrong. when they won
There's
their
nothing
three-peat,
Bulls
the
could
early
have done,
shit.
Any of those Bulls
Hold
teams
on,
could have
listen.
done to stop Shaq.
That'd have been a great 7-game series, and I say that game. That'd have been the only time I think Jordan would have won 7 games. I'm being honest.
Would have fucked around and been a sweep.
Yeah.
No.
Jordan fucked
I
around and
hate
been a
to be a
sweep.
part
No.
of the argument because I feel like it's my generation,
Listen,
but I just
I'm
don't
both.
think. I think
Look.
Iman Shumpert is going for 30
Rodman-
in the 80s, in the 90s.
Yeah. Harrison Barnes.
Rodman,
Harrison Barnes would have looked
prime-
like one of the greatest
Alexis.
of all time
Hold
in '92.
A legend.
Rodman
They
on
took Harrison
Shaq.
Barnes off the court.
Rodman
into the Hall
on
of Fame.
Shaq for 7 games guarantees 4 ejections either way. Guaranteed.
Rodman on Shaq.
Guarantees.
Hold on. This is where you wrong. Rodman
bullshit.
on Shaq in Orlando annoyed him, but that's hype because Shaq still dropped 30. The Shaq with the Lakers was even better player.
Dude.
Now instead of dropping
Shaq-
30 on Rodman, he's going to drop 40 on Rodman. And Jordan
dude.
can't do anything to help him because Jordan would have had his hands full trying to
got-
stop Kobe.
Dude. I mean,
Still
Shaq
got
is
Pip.
just,
Like I said, 7-game series, and here's the thing.
I think, for
And
one.
if they was in the finals,
I'm going to give Jordan one.
in the finals,
Jordan give Jordan
in the
one.
finals 3 years in a row, both teams would at least won one. I will at least be honest and say that.
But the Lakers would have won 4.
I said
I
3.
think in the 2000s, the teams that the Bulls would have probably competed with was like those Spurs teams. I'm talking about no. I'm talking about,
They would have murdered the Twin Towers.
I'm talking about Manu. I'm talking about that 2008, 10 Spurs team
Oh,
with
with
Manu
young
and
French
Tony
blood?
Parker. Not the 90s Spurs. I'm talking
about
about.
basketball like that, so I can't.
Oh,
speak
okay,
on it.
okay.
Y'all speaking Latin to me.
LeBron James would have dropped 70
Against who?
Anyone.
Against who?
Anyone
Against who?
in the 80s. Anyone.
LeBron would have got the
You
first
can
elbow.
call out names.
I love
Hey,
LeBron. I'm a James. I defend everything James all day.
A 210-pound
After-
power forward
after
elbow
Uncle
does
Rick
nothing
died,
to LeBron.
Edgerton left the
Yeah, I would've liked to see
NFL.
Gary
The
Payton
James
go against
legacy
LeBron, 'cause Gary
was
Payton
left to
would've been
LeBron
on
and
He would have
myself.
been on the backboard. I mean, on the.
Let me tell you
As
something.
much love and
Gary
respect I
Payton
got for
did
Gary
this like a
Payton,
motherfucker.
there's nothing on
GP?
earth
Huh?
Gary Payton could have done
Can
to
I just
stop
say this?
LeBron.
Can I just say this? Because at the end of the
Bullshit.
day,
Nothing.
you're talking about physics.
Yes.
Gary
You're
Payton
literally
was
just
known
talking
for
about
defense,
physics.
You're
No.
talking about
One
six-
dude 260.
Okay.
250.
Here's the thing. With
thought it
science,
would've been
I
that
get
big at
the
that time,
physics
though.
part of it.
But we are talking about this version of LeBron.
No, but listen.
And
I
I
get that aspect of it. But here's something that a lot of people always forget
I mean,
about.
Charles Barkley is PJ Tucker.
And I will take it back to old school wrestling. The testicular fortitude, the mental capacity to be able to handle what the fuck you going through. Because look at the bad boys, the Pistons back in the day. You listen, you went
biggest,
through the
strongest
whole.
nigga on the
Once
Pistons would've
again,
been weak
this is
compared to
why.
LeBron.
This is why LeBron, and then what I respect and love LeBron as a player, the man, the shit he do. I will always salute and captain him like, hey, bro, so big salute. But the detractors, my minus, with you, we niggas, when we say, nigga, you lost some cool points,
What was that for LeBron?
the cool points,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a stat. Jordan played 82 games 9 times.
9 or 10.
He's the most.
Yeah. And LeBron's played 1.
Okay. So, here's the thing.
But he played 80 games.
Blah, 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 blah. Don't water my shit down. This is not fucking cheap drinks at one of them ill ass bars with the chick who you knew from high school. So 82 games 9 times. LeBron has only done it once.
That's
So
really
once again,
meaningless.
I'm not sure.
Stats, because
That's really
one of your comments said just speaking facts. We're speaking facts.
Yeah, that's
facts and stats.
That's facts.
Here's another thing. Kobe. I was a Kobe fan earlier. When him and Shaq had their shit, I was like, ooh, because he did the little snitching shit. I was like, man, I can't fuck with your character. But I will always regard Kobe as a legend. Respect his game. Heart of a champion. Once again, the shit back. I'm piggybacking off the shit you was talking about earlier. The motherfuckers who have the heart, the initiative, the drive to go get it done. Kobe will always be.
Yesterday.
Can I
second
finish
that.
without
Second that.
you?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm just saying, Kobe will always be that because that was him. He was like, nigga, ain't no timeout. Ain't no. LeBron, I'm sorry. As much as I love and respect LeBron, he will never He has not shown till 6:50 West Coast, Pacific Daylight Time. He has not shown that initiative to do that.
I mean, he only had the greatest final series of all time. I mean,
And
let
the
me
3-1
just
against the
add
Warriors,
this.
you already know that was corporate orchestrated.
I was talking.
He's
okay,
a great player.
when we get into that talk, like they said, I can't
know,
really. I don't really.
Hey, I was talking to a
I love LeBron.
I was talking
I
to
don't
a
know.
Let me
keep it
address
a
what you
buck.
said real quick, though. You
Please
talking about testicular fortitude, right? I didn't play
The
basketball, but I
Yeah.
played 3 other sports,
Yeah.
and with actually 4 sports.
Yeah.
And one thing I can say is that, regardless of how athletic you are, man, when you talking about competition, man, this shit is 90% mental.
Thank you.
90% mental.
Can I
Hold
make
on,
a point?
Let me finish. 90% mental, 5% skill, and 5% athleticism.
Thank
Okay, you already psyching your opponent out before the whistle even goes.
Let
and
me
that other
finish
10%, that other 10% is 5% skill, 5% athleticism. When you talk about people like, let me finish. When you talk about people like, I don't know about
Please,
basketball
let me get next.
players,
Let me
but,
get
but
next.
I know about some of these superstars.
Now, let me get next. I got
When you
something I
talk
got to
about-
say
when you talk
directly
about
to this.
Jordan, when you talk about Jordan, you talk about Kobe Bryant, they had a killer instinct. They were like fucking lions going after prey.
Yeah.
LeBron was living off athleticism and skill. He didn't really have that same type of drive and killer instinct watching him play that I saw watching Jordan and Kobe play.
False. Let me tell you why. Okay, I got 2 points to make today.
Go ahead.
One, I was talking to a 13-year NBA vet yesterday, and I was asking him these type of questions. We always chop it up about these type of things, and this is the word out of his mouth. And this is a cat who played. He touched part of the '80s. He went all through the '90s, and he touched some of the 2000s, so he can really speak on these eras. He was in college in the late '80s, but he touched, the late '80s, so he touched all these eras.
Right.
He says, but he won't say this publicly, so I'm not going to air him out. I'll just say this much. He got to know Kobe really well because he beat Kobe ass. He says to me, most of the niggas that played in my era wouldn't even make a roster today. The talent, the size, the explosiveness is so far beyond the players of his. He said niggas who you consider Hall of Fame legends wouldn't even make a roster today.
I understand.
Now, this the second part of that. So when you factor in, when y'all say these niggas was too tough for LeBron, and then you figure in that there's niggas who played in the NBA, even people like Gilbert Arenas, my partners, who say niggas from that era wouldn't even been on the court. They couldn't even hang with LeBron. And then when you say LeBron don't have a heart, you got to remember, LeBron at the age of 21.
He didn't have a heart.
Hold on. At the age of 21, LeBron dropped 31 points a game on these same niggas that you say tough and carried a Cavaliers team who could have had me as the second option all the way to the finals. He dropped 31 points a game on these supposed to be tough niggas, carried his team to the finals. And for a nigga that's supposed to be soft, how on earth is he about to be the all-time leading scorer?
I said mentally soft. I didn't say physically soft.
Thank
Them
you.
same dudes
It's
from
a
that last
difference.
era.
You can't
Hold
drop
on,
31 a game on
let me address
niggas.
it. Them same dudes from that
you
last
missing the
era,
difference.
if they were born 20 years later, they'd have that same
Thank
athleticism,
you.
that same strength, because they would have had the same kind of training, the same
You
kind
think
of weightlifting
LeBron?
regimen.
Listen, like I
talking
said,
about
Ain't no
mental
nigga in the
toughness.
history
I'm
of
not talking about
basketball
physical
scored
toughness.
30 points a game and is a soft
I
nigga.
hate the Lakers.
Dude, imagine Jordan being
'Cause I'm a
born 20
Warrior
years
fan.
later, bruh.
What nigga? Hold on. I'm gonna say
Having
something.
access
Let
to
me
the
tell you
nutrition,
something
the
controversial.
supplements, the regimen.
None of
But
my
let me
heroes.
tell you something controversial.
Come on, bro.
Let me tell you something controversial. But
Right,
if you actually
Will.
play basketball, you realize that this is absolute truth. The reason why Jordan was such a spectacular player is because he was 6'6" with a 45-inch vertical and could get from baseline to baseline. Every single time, hold on, let me finish. If a person really played sports, you'd understand this.
You niggas don't let me finish.
If a nigga really played sports, you'd understand this.
I did.
Every time Jordan stepped on the court, the nigga who was standing across the... No, hold on, let me finish. The nigga who was standing across to him was physically outmatched.
Yeah.
Jordan could outrun them, outjump them, do everything better than them.
Well, that's a fact.
But let me tell you something. In 2021,
He'd have
you
been a
can
dude.
pull up YouTube videos of the dunks that won the dunking contest in 89 and 92, and we say these dudes is classic.
High school
You
niggas.
can pull up high school niggas. Nigga, I just seen a video of a high school nigga went up and put the ball under his ass and yoked it. If you put Jordan out there on the court today, he would be a very good player because he was relentless. He was fundamentally sound. But he wouldn't be Jordan.
Might be Pat Bev.
He wouldn't be Jordan. And the reason why I say he wouldn't be Jordan is because a lot of the physical advantages that he
wouldn't
had,
have. He would not
he
have.
wouldn't have. Niggas could
Bullshit.
match up with him. Now, I'm not saying niggas could. I put it to you like this. It's a difference. Jeff Hornacek was 6'4" and slow. Hersey Hawkins was 6'3" and slow. Jordan ate them up in back-to-back finals. Klay Thompson is 6'7".
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
Here's the thing,
five
though.
inches
Here's the thing.
taller than me.
One thing in
You ain't shooting over Klay Thompson the same way you shooting over Hersey Hawkins. And then on the flip side,
Fair. One thing
you
I
gotta
take
come
into
out with
consideration-
guards.
I got
I
got this.
I need to drill in my point. The one thing that I take
drill
into
your point. Let me
consideration,
end
though,
this.
and you talking about different eras, is that the nutrition was different,
Thank you.
the training was different, the supplements were different, and even the technology.
But
of
we
the
So
talking
shoes
basically,
were
Vlad-
different.
so basically, Vladimir
let me
Klitschko could knock
These
out
dudes-
Ali,
these
right?
dudes ain't that big just off of
The
jeans.
mental-
There's also
So
different kind
Klitschko
of
could
training.
knock out Ali,
different
right?
kind of training.
Hold on.
Dude. If Jordan was
There's
born,
high school niggas at Tech that could do the same dunks that won the
if
NBA
Jordan was
contest.
born
They ain't
20
took
years-
no
20 years
supplements.
later, he'd have gone toe to toe.
Evolution.
They had turf burritos.
Evolution based
Shout
off
out
of
to Goon with the
nutrition,
spoon.
based off of science, kinesiology, supplements,
you.
access
all
to weight
in the
In the
training.
OAL
Dude,
right now, I can find niggas who
They
did the
have-
same
no,
dunks
I think so.
that they did in
Because they have a
89.
different
That's
training
the-
regimen, bruh.
that-
That's not
not
off of
running.
genes, bruh.
Hey,
Dude, you talking about
running
nature
for
versus
breakfast.
nurture, bruh.
Right now
Sam,
at Mac. At
Hold on.
Mac, there's a senior that
Nature
can do the
versus
same
nurture,
dunks
dude.
that
Let me
niggas
ask
won the
you- let me
NBA
ask you
These dudes
this.
were
contest.
nurtured to have the
I'm gonna
athleticism
ask
that they
y'all.
have. They
I'm gonna
weren't
ask
born
y'all a
like that.
factual
They
question.
have access to
Okay.
shit that didn't exist 30 years ago, dude.
Which is this is a gift and a curse. The double-edged sword when comparing different eras because you're dealing with different rules, different style of play, of course, different physical nature of
Different
the players,
training, man.
different everything. True, but it's something I want to ask you because my point was the mental aspect of the game. Because we've all witnessed, and once again, I salute LeBron.
LeBron James Jr. with dog Steve Kerr.
And here's the thing. Here's the
LeBron
thing.
James
What's up,
Jr.?
Trav? Listen, answer this question. Will LeBron? How many elbows from Bill Laimbeer, from Dennis Rodman, Rick Mahonis, from?
Can I answer?
Listen. How many of them? I'm talking about mentally. Listen to me.
Okay.
Before y'all, please understand my questions. Cause I study shit, and I look, and I once again, LeBron, for some of the shit he do, I will always salute him. But some of the other shit he do, I'm like, you act like a hoe.
What is that other stuff? I never understand.
LeBron is the crybaby.
LeBron is one of the greatest black men to ever walk the face of the earth.
I know. Here's the thing, and here's the thing. I'm gonna
Sending
say
niggas
this.
to
I'm
college.
gonna say,
Crying
listen to me. Listen
What
to me.
crybaby does he do? I don't
Oh,
understand.
bro, for real? Come
Yeah.
on. You pampered and catered to.
But Dennis
I'm sorry.
Rodman sitting there flopping and crying and playing
What?
games.
Nigga in a dress.
Dude, Beverly would
Yeah.
get on LeBron's nerves.
Who?
Beverly.
Patrick Beverly
Strap
would be
in there.
Patrick Beverly would be a
Strap in there.
Hall of Famer if he put it
I'm
Patrick
just
Beverly.
saying.
in
But no,
89.
listen to this question though. In this league, without the cater to that the league caters to LeBron, because I seen this motherfucker take 9 steps and get an and 1. Let's call it what it is. I'm just saying. Once again, I salute LeBron. But the crybaby shit, the shit the league conforms to his ass, because we all know sports is a farce. Let's just call that for first and foremost what it is. But here's the thing. Put LeBron, I don't give a fuck what physical specimen of him you have when he was first drafted into the league, to when he was in the middle being dominant, or to the motherfucker with the Geritol posse with the Lakers that couldn't even make the playoffs when they was the fucking Portland Trailblazers that had everybody first round draft pick, and everybody in the beginning was like, "Ooh, the Lakers are going, them niggas didn't make the playoffs." Let me finish. I don't give a fuck what specimen of LeBron you put in this concept of my question. How many Bill Laimbeer elbows? How many Dennis Rodman elbows? How many motherfucking Dennis Johnson picks? How many motherfucking Big Chief thigh slaps. How many, even Barkley, how many of these OGs in the brutality of the NBA when it was a real game? Just like when we played, let me finish. I want to finish it all before you go there. How many of that physical game mentally, fuck the physical, how many of the mental, because everything's mental. Like I played baseball. 90% mental, 10% physical. And I've hit moonshots.
Oh, and the catcher's the one that's the first line of defense. He
And I play catcher, exactly.
He the one talking the most shit.
I'm just saying. So I know sports.
And we're going to go in a circle.
How many of those elbows, those picks, those Karl Malone elbows? Ooh. Come on.
I know what I'm gonna say.
Thank you. See what I'm saying?
I know
How many can LeBron mentally take?
Okay, I got a
You got 30 seconds.
I got a two-part.
45 seconds.
First off,
each person.
Bill Laimbeer and those dudes looked like they was really tough because they was 230 pounds elbowing 210-pound guys.
Take my,
Now,
I give a fuck.
elbowing a 210-pound guy and elbowing a 265-pound guy ain't the same result. But let me tell you something. Not even on LeBron. I heard people say Steph Curry wouldn't have been able to thrive in that era. Mark Price, at 5'11", 160 pounds, was a four-time All-Star. Four-time, not like he had one cool year and he fluked. Four times Mark Price was an All-Star. If Mark Price could be a four-time All-Star at 5'11", 160, 6'3", 185 pounds, Steph would have been too frail to make it in that era. The point remains. And by the way, I played against Joey Johnson, Dennis Johnson's brother. We call him Jumping Joey Johnson. He has one of the highest verticals ever, 54 inches. He played at Arizona State, and he went to high school at Banning. Played against him. Let me tell you something. I played against Dennis Johnson as well at Magic's runs at UCLA with Wilt Chamberlain on my team. Going head-to-head against Shaq. Yes, I was there feeding Shaq in the post and everything and setting picks for Wilt Chamberlain at UCLA. Let me tell you something.
Point,
this is the point that I'm saying. That there are Dennis Johnson, you named him like he would have been this tough guy. I'm here to tell you, I actually played against Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson wouldn't even make an NBA roster today. Dennis Johnson wouldn't even make a roster. Dennis Johnson is in the Hall of Fame, but he's a prime example of a nigga who wouldn't make a roster at this point. What I'm saying is, you saying these dudes are so tough, and LeBron would have been shook. When I'm saying LeBron would have been
mentally tough.
Mentally,
LeBron would have been
mental.
But I'm just saying though, LeBron dropped 31 a game in the early 2000s. LeBron would have ate these niggas.
Are you going to answer the question?
That's what I'm saying. These Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn, and these type of dudes, they tough against that level. Against a LeBron level nigga, they wouldn't have looked so tough.
How? When LeBron crashed, when he
you can't sit
We
here
good.
and elbow and hack a nigga who got 40 pounds on you.
So yeah, Chuck basically kind of. He basically was on my thing. My thing is.
Hey, Dolph said you on LeBron's dingleberries.
So me,
he's the GOAT.
So me, the way my brain works, objectively thinking, I know what you guys mean, the mental part of it all.
That's all I'm talking about.
But when I look at it,
That's
you're talking
all
about,
I'm talking about
a fly trying to hurt a giant. I mean, physics alone, them dudes would have probably, all those elbows they throwing, they would have probably broke their collarbone. Based off physics. So the real question is, how many of those hits could they take? LeBron is physically, like, I know what you mean,
physical specimen.
but there was nobody in the league. So no matter how hard Deion Sanders and them had it, they had no answer for Calvin Johnson if he played in late 80s. Like, he just don't have an answer.
Johnson
No matter how much mentally Deion Sanders had to fight, ain't no answer for Calvin Johnson.
Facts.
Me having played four sports, me having even done combat sports, there's a reason why you have a stare down before a boxing match to psych your opponent out. I still think, based on my athletic experience, this game is 90%. I'm going to get to the equal thing. It's 90% mental, 5% skill, 5% athleticism. And the other thing about it is, you're talking about what these dudes would not have been able to compete with in this era. if they were born in that era, they would have been evenly matched because they would have had access to the same training, the same nutrition, the same supplements. If the guys from this era were born in that era, they wouldn't be the giants that they are now. They would have been equally matched, close enough physically, based off of the resources that they had when it comes to training and conditioning. So to compare athleticism of that era, that's the reason why the track records get broken every fucking 12 years in the Olympics. Because the training's different, the nutrition's different, the technology's different. Even me having done triathlons, the running shoes that we used 10 years ago, they didn't exist fucking 30 years ago.
Agree.
The bicycles that are now fucking 16 pounds, they were 25 pounds back then. All that shit makes a difference when you're trying to pedal down a fucking highway at 35 miles an hour. The wetsuits that shave off your time when you're swimming, the nutrition, the eating, the supplements, the diet.
It's hard.
That shit's, dude, I did triathlon. You know when they did the first Ironman? One of the dudes had a 6-pack of beer in the back of his bike. When nobody try to do fucking 2.5 mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, and a fucking full marathon run with a 6-pack in the back of his beer. You're going to have about 10 goos, 3 power bars. You're going to drink water every 6 miles. Come on, dude. Like, the knowledge has changed. That's why the bodies are different.
That's where it's
but
hard
we're
to
talking
compare.
about testicular fortitude, mental toughness.
You got to take out of it because this athlete is so much
toughness.
greater.
LeBron James
No, I'm saying... So that's like saying, what was the black dude back in the day? The fast black guy. Hold on. Who was the fast black guy?
Michael Johnson.
That's like saying Carl Lewis, his mental fortitude, that he's going to go out there and somehow beat Usain Bolt.
Who's 6'5".
I'm just saying, it's so different. The athleticism is such a wide gap. When you talk about boxers, they weigh in just around the same. You're talking about equal.
Boxing,
somebody that's supposed to be equally matched. So yeah, if you're talking about a LeBron back in the '90s, then name the LeBron back in the '90s. Who? Because we're not talking about Jordan.
If LeBron were back in the 90s, LeBron wouldn't have the size that he has now.
No, but we're talking about
He came out
LeBron.
of high school at 6'8", 260.
He was on a different dietary and training regimen.
I'm not talking about a
in high school.
If LeBron were born in like fucking 73 or 1970, he wouldn't be as big as he is now.
And I agree, but I'm talking about this LeBron playing in the 90s.
Right.
We're talking about
I don't want to
mental
hear
toughness.
about
No, but
mental
here's the thing.
because that mental toughness.
So I get the
with
physical.
somebody so much.
Here's the thing. I understand completely what you're saying.
Imagine Michael Jordan being born in 1984, 85.
Oh my
But see,
God.
I'm not
Come on,
talking
dude.
about.
Listen,
But
no,
that's
no,
what I'm
LeBron,
saying.
I'm finna piggyback on what you're saying.
Imagine
I'm gonna
Charles
touch on.
Barkley being born in 85.
Listen.
You realize how big he would have
I'm
been?
going to.
But imagine
specifically-
Jordan playing now. That prime Jordan who was dunking and doing all the bulls.
The mentality. Here's the thing. And listen to me when I say this.
He would
I
have a tough go with Harrison
understand.
Barnes.
I understand completely what you're saying. But if you discount the fact of what I'm saying, you listen to me. This is just me understanding what you're saying. The mental aspect of this game, life and anything, if you discount that, you are discrediting so many people. Regardless of sports,
I'm not saying they're not good.
listen to me.
Too.
This is what I'm speaking on specifically: the mental aspect, the mental capacity to handle the task what's going on in front of you. If LeBron,
niggas wasn't magically tougher back in the day.
Fuck that. Niggas would sock you in fucking pregame. Right now, you can't even clip fingernails together.
Name a greater
NFL running back right now
had.
with a damn man ran for 2,500 against
right
niggas
now,
in '83.
These new athletes are being groomed to be able to accept a participation award.
Thank you.
That shit didn't exist back then.
That shit
If
didn't
you weren't
happen.
good enough, you
That's
weren't
what I'm
good
speaking on. When I speak on, listen, like I said,
You say they're softer.
LeBron,
I agree with that. Mentally, players are softer now.
That's what we're
That's
talking
I
about.
think they're softer. But
So
when
listen.
you compare that to success, that doesn't mean that they wouldn't have had success back
I'm
then.
not
because
saying
they're
they
softer
wouldn't
now.
have had some success. All I'm saying is they wouldn't have. Their success wouldn't be what it is today.
LeBron would have won
Let's
10
call
rings.
it-
I don't
No.
care how tough.
No.
I don't care how
This is-
tough.
no.
I don't
No.
care how tough Roberto
No.
Duran was or whatever, nigga.
When he said
Floyd
no mas,
Floyd Mayweather.
he said no mas.
Floyd Mayweather would have.
When he said no mas, it wasn't physical. It was mental.
Floyd Mayweather would have whooped any nigga in the '70s. Any nigga. And when I say would have whooped him, I'm talking about he wouldn't have lost a round.
Dog calls you Miss
Miss
James.
James.
Dog calling you Miss
He wouldn't have lost a round.
I'm just saying, no.
No,
what
I
I'm
agree
saying,
with y'all both.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying
That's
mentally,
all I'm saying.
you got a lot of
LeBron is a
catering
great-
to. You got a lot of
LeBron-
catering to, and all
LeBron
that
is
stuff
a
now.
great
There's a reason why he's
player.
going to win the scoring
I
title.
love what he does off the court
And he didn't play 86.
more than
I'm
anything
talking about the
he does
overall,
on
like
the court.
all-time leading scorer.
Oh, for sure.
Because records are meant to be broken. And when the
Not that
league,
record.
all records are meant to be broken. All it takes is discipline.
Ain't nobody gonna break
And,
that.
and here's the thing. No, because remember, white people thought Babe Ruth was going to have the home run record forever. What happened? Hank Aaron.
There's a time people didn't think you could run a mile in 4
And
minutes.
after that,
Well, I mean,
exactly.
you don't
Well,
have to get
listen,
to these records
training, but
being
listen,
soft, though.
listen,
I mean,
I'm
the
gonna-
longevity
this
of
is
playing.
this is
he's
once
been playing
again,
since he
we
was
speaking
18.
on the mentality because when you get to that penile gland, this is shit that you'll get at 3 in the morning. When you get to the truth of the shit, when you really go in and dial in discipline, because discipline means discipline.
I don't care how tough Mike Tyson is mentally,
Mm-hmm.
he's not whooping Deontay Wilder.
Hold on, wait a minute. So
Oh,
we're
man.
gonna end this real quick, but I'm gonna just say this. Remember when UFC first started?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, first started.
I remember.
It was on VHS.
There was no weight class.
Mm-hmm.
There was no weight class.
There
It
was
was-
actually no fighters of real talent. There's not a man. There's not a man
So
who fought
also
in UFC.
now, wait a minute.
There's not a man who fought in UFC 1 who could have whooped me.
Hold on, wait
Straight
a minute.
up.
Because you just said no talent. So
There's not a man who fought
hold
in
on.
UFC 1
Wait a
who could have
minute.
whooped
Can
me.
can I get on that? Because
Didn't
once
Gracie
again,
fight in UFC
all my
one?
thoughts.
Hoist Gracie wouldn't have beat me.
Nigga, okay.
Hoist Gracie wouldn't have beat
Meanwhile,
me.
back at the
anyway,
ranch.
once again, you can mentally think you're the greatest person in the world, and I salute you, and you should.
I'm just saying,
Hey, I
as
was
it
in
evolved,
86 when I
but
graduated
UFC 1 was
from
not
6th grade at
talent. It
Garfield
was not
in the
talent.
Dubs. Our school song was
Gracie
"I
wasn't a
believe
good
the
fighter.
children are our future." I
He's
get that.
better than the sorry dudes.
But here's the thing. Remember, mentally, remember, UFC. When UFC first started, there was no weight class.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this fight, and I watched it. It was a skinny dude. Motherfucker looked like Steve Kerr. Ooh. See, I'm going there? I'm going there. It was a motherfucker the size of Steve Kerr. And I'm going to bring some wrestling shit in. Against a motherfucker that looked like
Andre
Abdullah the
Martin.
Butcher.
Okay.
And y'all probably seen this video. You got a motherfucker looking like Steve Kerr against a motherfucker looking like Abdullah the Butcher. King Kong Bundy. Any other fat motherfucker who's big and just large. How y'all on LeBron's dick right now?
No, I got you.
Comparing,
Right.
exactly. That's
No, I got
all
it.
I'm
I
saying.
got it already locked and loaded.
Thank
I
you.
got it.
And
Watch this.
Steve Kerr won.
Now, can I say something?
Now, hold on. Let me just
Wait.
add this one
Can
thing
I
before
say-
you say
okay.
that. This is going to be quick.
Make it hella quick.
People didn't have the knowledge. Now, if you actually knew things about UFC and you knew about the Gracie family, you'd have knew in 93, Hoist was probably about the 6th best fighter in his own family. He was not very good. And the quality and the fact the plan was his brother Horian was the promoter. He had an older brother named Hickson. The plan was to market Gracie Jiu-Jitsu by getting the most unassuming looking dude. But the plan was if Hoist was to have lost, they was going to bring in Hickson for number 2. But they didn't want to bring Hickson in because Hickson looked like a bodybuilder. They was trying to market around Hoist. But Hoist Gracie was not a very good fighter, and they intentionally stacked the decks with dudes who knew nothing about grappling or anything like that. It was a setup. UFC 1 was a setup.
So you don't
There's not a
think
single
NBA
guy who
stacking
fought.
the deck for LeBron?
No, you can't
No,
stack
I
the
was
deck
gonna
like
say
that across
something
32
plus
teams.
So I was
You
gonna
can't
say
stack the deck,
something
but you
similar.
can stack a 16-man tournament if you go get scrubs. There was guys like Oleg Tatarov, Marcos Huas. There was guys out there who tried to get in UFC 1 and they said no. It wasn't until the Gracie family lost control with Art Vanderlei that they was able to. About UFC 4 is the first time you had guys come in who was actually well-rounded and who could fight. But the first 3 UFCs was a setup for Hoist Gracie.
I was just going to say real quick. I know the size. I'm not. When I'm talking about LeBron, I'm not just talking about. Obviously, LeBron has the skill. He's a professional basketball player.
He's a
You
great
can go get Conor
athlete.
McGregor right now, who's small in size, and he can go fight somebody that's 7'1". But if that
Imagine
person
Conor
don't have
McGregor
the
against the
background,
guys in UFC 1.
but if that guy, if that 7 foot,
Sound
if
like
that
you,
6'11"
you
dude,
sound like you defending my argument.
no, I'm saying if that
It
guy doesn't have
sounds
the
like
background and fighting and art and the
sounds like
technique,
it.
Conor McGregor is
That's
going
all
to give him
mental.
a new one.
All technique
No, that's
is
not
all
mental.
mental.
No, that's actually no.
Mental.
They had
No.
Art Jemison in UFC 1 with a one boxing
Mental.
glove
Once
on.
again,
And he
No
got
matter
took
how,
down.
mental.
no matter how, no. When it comes down to it, no matter how much you want it and the mental and you want to fight, if you don't know the technique and you don't know the art behind it, you just don't know it. And if a guy like Conor McGregor, who's small in size, go fight somebody that's 6'8", that don't have any of that type of, he's going to tear him apart.
But if you know what you're doing,
If you know what you're doing.
Physically, listen to me. I'm gonna give y'all this, and this is from Sandlot boxing to Golden Gloves boxing to turf boxing. Remember the niggas you be on the block with all that. Mentally,
Royal Park.
once again, my whole point is breaking it back down to mentally. That's all my point is mentally. You believe and understand and you know your shit, but mentally, you got to be able to handle it. Because you can hit me and physically it hurt. But mentally, if I like, that shit don't mean nothing, it don't mean
But
nothing.
eventually your brain is going to
Mentally.
shut down.
The mind, remember, the phrase is mind over matter. And when you really understand yourself, this is something, once again, you people will get at 3 a.m. Mind over matter is deeper than anybody will ever understand until you really understand yourself.
You're talking mentally in the midst of a competition.
Thank you.
That getting smacked down ain't gonna hurt you that much. You're used to that. You're built for that. But all it takes is the right motherfucker. If you're not mentally tough enough, the shit talking
It's
he's talking
over.
to you, that eye contact,
It's over.
that glare in his look, that'll psych a
I tell you,
motherfucker
your
out.
wife tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios, you out the game.
Let me tell y'all one thing. Let me tell you something. When
Especially if she do taste
let,
like
me,
Honey Nut
let, me, let
Cheerios.
me tell y'all something.
You out the game.
Even though right now he's about
It's
55
mental.
years old, there was a nigga named Henry Tillman. I know him. That was my partner. Henry Tillman won the gold medal in the '84 Olympics. Right? I would bet on Henry Tillman. If we got out there in that parking lot, there's not a nigga on earth. You could bring. There's not a nigga even at the age of 55. There's not a motherfucker that I would bet on against Henry Tillman. Right? It's my partner. Henry Tillman's the toughest nigga I ever know. I've seen him literally whoop 9 niggas at the Century Club in LA. Knocking them out. Henry Tillman's one of the baddest motherfuckers on earth. He's 55, right? Mentally, ain't no nigga, and he used to get down and put that work in South Central. Ain't no nigga on earth walking this earth tougher than Henry Tillman. Evander Holyfield knocked Henry out. Mike Tyson knocked Henry out in 57 seconds. Because at the end of the day, in a street fight against regular niggas, no one can beat Henry Tillman. And he's mentally tough enough. Niggas, I seen niggas pull out pistols and Henry knock a nigga out and take his pistol. Henry was one of the most fearless, most ferocious nigga mentally. But in actual talent, he couldn't whoop Evander Holyfield. He got lost by knockout. He couldn't whoop Mike Tyson. You can be as mentally tough as you want to if the other man simply has more talent. But I know this much for a fact. Mike Tyson, as much as he's respected, New York goon, I know he's probably a bitch in the streets compared to Henry. I know Evander Holyfield is a square ass nigga compared to Henry.
We're not
but
saying
Henry
that
couldn't whoop them
we're not
niggas.
saying that a motherfucker.
They had more talent
We're not
than him.
saying that a person that's mentally tough will always be able to beat someone that's
Right.
No, these
outskilled.
dudes have more talent
Let
than
me
him.
finish. People that are equally matched. People that are equally matched in a competition.
Henry won a gold medal in the Olympics.
Nigga, can I finish my
Right.
thought?
He won a gold
Can I
medal in the
finish my
Olympics.
thought?
He's not
Can I
an
finish?
untalented
Can I finish?
nigga.
Can I finish?
Yeah, just 'cause
People
you
that are
talk
equally
louder than
matched,
somebody doesn't mean you're right.
relatively, in skill, in athleticism, in conditioning, in training, the one who is mentally tougher is going to be the one that's going to win. The one who is mentally weaker that's going to allow them psychological games get into their head, they're going to get taken out. Wasn't there a basketball player when a dude said, that's why I fucked your mama or something like that and took him out the game? Who was that? You know what I'm talking about? This happened like 10 years ago?
You talking about LeBron?
Was it LeBron?
Well, didn't dude
somebody
actually have some type
said
of-
it was like, yeah, I fucked your mom
But
during
the
a
thing
playoff
was is
game
that
and
was
psyched his
actually-
ass out.
Henry Tillman
And he
won.
really didn't
Henry,
fuck
Henry Tillman won
Yeah,
the
we
gold
know
medal.
that.
He wasn't unskilled.
Yeah,
It was
see,
his
hey, nigga, don't
teammate.
act like I'm
Don't give
talking
a
shit on
fuck
my
about
ass.
how
You
many
know what I'm
medals
talking
you win.
about.
It was his
At the
teammate.
end of the day, mental fortitude matters. That's all
It
I'm
does.
saying.
I would never say it didn't. It does.
That was my point from the
But
beginning.
when the talent
when
is
it came,
drastic, that shit
no.
don't matter.
Have
Here's
y'all
the
ever
thing.
heard of Michael Nunn? Have you ever heard
yes,
of Michael
I
Nunn?
remember him.
In the
Sprinter.
84 Olympic
Yeah,
trials,
sprinter.
I saw this with my own two eyes.
I'm
Tyrell Biggs was clowning Mike Tyson on the pool ping pong table. Mike Tyson got up, got pissed off, and Michael Nunn said, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit y'all talking about. Move. Mike Tyson kept talking shit, and Michael Nunn slapped that nigga right in his mouth. And Mike left and wouldn't fight back. Mike Tyson. I saw him get punked with my own two eyes. But if they would have gotten the boxing ring, Mike Tyson would have obliterated Michael Nunn in 32 seconds.
Because
Mental
it's about
toughness
being
means
mental smart.
toughness means nothing if the other nigga is hella more better than you.
No.
But in that street
Mental
situation, sitting there like
toughness?
this, Michael Nunn
I
slapped that
agree
nigga
with
in
you
his
when
mouth,
it's
and the nigga
equal
wouldn't
or
fight
around
back.
equal. I agree with you when it's equal or around. I agree.
Okay.
It
anyway.
matters. No, it definitely
So-
matters.
No,
I'm
but,
just saying when
but
it's a
Mike
gap,
Tyson is one of the
I'm-
greatest talents of
I
all
wanna
time.
end
When
this
you have
shit.
that great
I don't
level
wanna
of
go
talent,
on forever
Right,
and
right,
never,
right.
never.
Wait, can we all just agree in the 2000s,
Yes.
Michael Jordan would have made a really good number 2?
exactly. No, let's agree.
Jordan couldn't lead a team in the 2000s
Yes.
being
No,
the
he
best
couldn't.
player on the team.
No, he couldn't.
He would have
Yes.
he would have made
Why?
sure he was
Because
where he needed to be athletic.
here's the thing.
Jordan D.
You
Wade.
have the intangibles.
Not the
That's
same.
the
Not the same.
Here's the thing. The intangibles, same with Kobe. Beyond the stats, the shit, the points, the assists, the rebounds, the steals, the assists, all that. Beyond that, the mental capacity of, and I'm not saying LeBron doesn't have some of that. I am not saying, because I've seen games where LeBron has taken over and done shit. I'm not saying he doesn't have some of it.
But you
I'm
can't
not.
take away the fact that Jordan was still physically gifted more than the players he was going against.
Exactly.
This is the reason why
Here's
You
the
can't
Jordan-
take that away.
This is the reason why I think Jordan would have been able to compete. He would have been a number one. When you look at his history, high school, he got cut from the basketball team his junior year. He spent
LeBron would have
all,
fucking cried in the
all
fucking locker
year
room.
and all summer getting his body in shape, getting his condition in shape, getting his skill set in shape.
they
If
wild
If Jordan knew,
golf.
if
A nice
Jordan, hold on, let me
170.
finish. If Jordan was at this size,
You know, that's a Disney
if Jordan was at this size and got smashed on a couple of seasons, and he'd have been like, okay, I need to get my size up. I need to get my body up. I need to get my condition right, get my nutrition right. He'd have got his body in the physical condition to compete against today's era.
Not
He
go
would've
to the
did what he had
refs
to do
and,
during the off
man,
season.
y'all need to call more
Based
travels.
off that
Y'all
work
need to,
history
I need
and
more.
work
I need
ethic.
more
But you know that's an
travels.
untrue story, right?
Anyway, so I'm gonna ask
If
you a
it works for
question
my argument,
Yeah.
it's true today. Okay,
I'm
it's true
gonna
today.
pivot it.
Fuck what you talking about?
because
You can
we
kill my
on
argument.
tomorrow is a great day in sports because we talk about mental fortitude.
Yeah.
And we didn't even touch on this, but I'm gonna end it
Yep.
with this one. Tomorrow is a great night in sports. Tomorrow is a great day in sports. Tomorrow is Earl Spence versus Ugas.
Yes. Spence in 6.
Yeah, you said it already, but yeah, I want everybody's predictions.
I'm going Earl Spence.
I'm going with Spence.
I'm going with Spence too.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty
But
simple.
I expect to see both people get hurt.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen in sports. That's the thing you got. You
Spence is one of the strongest 147-pound
Hey,
fighters.
the man
ever.
got flung out of a car and he fought back a year
and
and a half.
walked it out. Like what they do with that rap song? I walk it out.
Beast. Hey, that's mental. Cause of LeBron would have said, I already won a couple of rings and I'm good. I'm finna go
Just
go get
physics,
some dairy
man.
cows. I'm
Sometimes-
just keeping it a buck.
Sometimes
No,
it's just
Errol
physics.
Spence is literally
No.
one of the strongest
We-
147-pound fighters ever. There's nothing you guys can do to hurt him.
Okay, so fuck all that bullshit y'all was talking about earlier. But I'm just fucking with y'all. But yeah. Hey, at the end of the day is over. So we got
Wait, one more thing. Can I say one more thing?
yeah, go ahead. Let me give you 30 seconds.
Had LeBron I would say this: had he had Michael Jordan's mental toughness, yeah, he probably would have 6-7 rings right now.
Wasn't that the point of the
That
whole
was the
argument?
fucking point.
That's what we were.
But that doesn't mean Jordan playing today would have had 6-7 rings because he would have been, he'd have been like a Donovan Mitchell type.
No,
He'd
he-
been Paul
Like, he got
George.
some
You
nice
understand
highlights.
that mind over
Jordan
matter
is
is 90% of the game.
He would have
Okay,
made sure
sir,
in the offseason he was
You
physically
had
fit to
me
compete.
till you didn't have me.
Let's close out with a shot.
We're going to
And
end
the
this shit. Tell everybody where they can find y'all, what projects, what y'all got going on.
I didn't even talk about this.
This
Story.
free-flowing conversation. Good night as always. Friday.
Mental is overrated. Because like I said, I done told y'all stories about the toughest niggas on earth who
I
done
didn't-
punked Mike Tyson and couldn't win world championships. Mental is overrated compared
it's
to
not.
talent.
I think only when there's
Go
a
ahead.
gap. But if it's equal, of course the mentally challenged. I mean, look at the Patriots every year. You
Let
know,
me tell you something.
we go in there undermanned, but we tough.
Cheers, motherfuckers.
I've coached a baseball team that was ranked number 1 in the state and number 4 in the country. And out of 32 games, we won 30. And we played in every championship game. This is baseball travel. And we were in every championship game and only lost one. And we had several no-hitters. And we had kids who were mentally dialed in.
I agree.
Dialed in. And one thing from boxing, from football, from baseball, I've always learned and was taught. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. That'll always be the key.
That's why I think Randy Moss is overrated.
Hey, I hope y'all have a great weekend. Thank you for tuning in.
No,
Tell everybody where they can find y'all at. Yeah, tell
Randy
everybody where
Moss
they can
is
find y'all at.
overrated.
Oh no, we is not finna go into another hour of no. I got we filming it. We still got Love and Alien. Tell everybody what you got coming up, going on with you, because we gonna do some Love and Alien shit, and then we out because we May 12th. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh man, Strong Hawk is gonna be on a streaming service platform real soon, so be on the lookout for that.
I'll just stop in today. Mark Anthony on the check-in.
Randy Moss, literally.
Bruh. No, we're not. I'm not trying to be here for another hour.
Hey, you
I'm
can
not.
find me, Pharaoh, man. You can find me at randymossisthegoat.com.
I'm not trying to be here for another hour.
Hey, because next they're gonna tell it Jerry Rice would have.
Because he had such mental toughness.
Hey, and if y'all tuning in, don't know, y'all be ready. These motherfuckers. May 12th, y'all be ready for the premiere of Love and Aliens at Tommy T's in Pleasanton.
Yes.
The Farrell Films production, written with many great co-stars, and your boy, I'm in that thing as always. You know, with the team, we doing what we do.
Man.
You can find me at Cognac_Confessionals on IG. Follow us, Cognac Confessionals, on Facebook, Cognac Confessionals on YouTube. If you personally know me, that's the only way you can follow my personal page. So you people that you see, please don't send me. Don't send me a request for my personal page. I won't accept it. I'll message me and we might talk. Network. I'm always about networking. If you like to be on the show, if you got a topic, a business, a service, anything that you got going on, and you like to be featured on Cognac Confessionals, please reach out to us. We equal opportunity. We doing what we do. As always, it's been a pleasure, a blessing, and I appreciate anybody tuning in and watching, because it's a Friday night and you can be doing anything in the world, but you choose to fuck with your boy, and it's all good. And as you see, we sip real shit. This ain't no motherfucking Taka Vodka. This ain't no motherfucking what's Diddy's cognac? That nasty shit. Oh my bad. This ain't. We see quality shit here. Anyway, appreciate, love, and light. Everybody have fun this weekend, man. Be safe out there. I know it's Caesar Borgia weekend, and y'all gonna be out there with them Easter bunnies chasing eggs and shit. But anyway, now it's time to say goodbye. To all my Negro friends, you'll get that at 3 in the morning.